So what's happening now?
Yeah, I'm good. Nice to be here again.
how 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 has your week been?
I mean, it's just Tuesday, so it's.
Like how has your week been from the last?
Oh, I mean, I've been great. Really, I've been really, really good. Like exciting times. Really nice weekend too. Like nice set of games. United getting all 3 points. Good feeling. Yeah. What about you? What about you?
Uh, I'm indifferent.
At some point, you have to
Indifferent.
feel something. Eventually.
At some point, I was just all I felt was rage. So
Yeah.
at some point, I just felt like.
I mean, that's real. Like, if you're a United fan, you've probably gone through all like stages
Then
of
after
grief.
the Newcastle game, I was kind of sad for him.
Yeah.
I saw that one start and now put his picture there. I looked at his face like this idiot probably thought leaving Ajax for Man he was going to like.
Actually, I mean, but like, he did say in his interview that he understood the size of the project and it was the hardest job in the world, which I agree with. In football, the United job, the chances you are going to succeed is
I mean,
really
everybody that
low.
has come, it's something that they've known.
Yeah.
It's like when people say, "Oh, the structure, this, that." Like he knew that before coming. Like it's not like the structure. It was after he collected the job that he knew
Yeah.
that yes, so he had
True.
to. So it's part of. Unfortunately for him, it's part of the job.
Yeah, actually,
Being
Manchester
a
United.
Manchester United coach.
Yeah.
So like the game against City, the game against Newcastle, and the win against Fulham. Like, did you see any like similarities from those games?
I mean, yes, I think if there's something that we've gotten real clarity on in recent time, in this period of those games, is that this is how United are going to look
For the
for the
foreseeable
foreseeable
future.
future. And at this point, I mean, I sort of already accepted it since the beginning of the year. But I feel like now United fans know what to expect. And honestly, the Fulham game wasn't any different. If you ask me, if they were a better team, they definitely would have scored goals in that game.
If they still had Mitrovic.
Exactly, they would have scored in that game. And also, VAR being a big factor in that. If they had gotten the first goal, maybe it would have like helped the confidence of the team, and maybe we would have seen a more fluid game. But after that goal call cancelled, we went into that frenzy, and you could see it for like 15 minutes. We didn't really
Like
get
that's one
our
of the
rhythm.
issues. They're always having to react.
After like any major incident happens, either we score or we concede, or like it's just very crazy how it happens all the time.
Zero to little control.
Yeah. So not so much different in those games. I think he also learns the hard truth there.
Okay,
And
wait, let me
what most
let
of
me
you have been
ask
saying,
let me ask him this way now. Like, what do you think went wrong against City? What do you think went wrong against Newcastle? And yeah, let's start with
I
that.
mean, in both games, we're not as good as our opposition. They were way better than us.
I don't think
Simple.
we played any opposition this season that were, on the same level.
Maybe Tottenham. Early in the season, we looked good.
Tottenham first half.
Yes,
Yeah,
true.
Tottenham first half.
And yeah, the first few games we played were not as terrible, and that's how it's crazy because in those games we thought, oh my god, this is shit, and like we've gotten so worse now. It's just crazy how this.
That's what
Wow.
when you don't build momentum.
Exactly. I mean, maybe we would have seen this if they won those games. And
I mean, I like Angie style.
Yeah.
I think he's a poet also, but he has character. He will live and die by his style of play.
Yeah.
That's something I've known about him since Celtic. Like, he doesn't care who he's playing with against, or like yesterday, like how many man down. He will play the way he wants to play, and anything he wants to do will happen.
Will happen, yeah.
I mean, but I feel like that's what helped Tottenham, because beginning of season they were not playing with this urgency. There's a different, if you watch like their first 3-4 games beginning of the season to like their last 3 league games, 4 games, you will see like a massive difference. Like the urgency that they play with now, for me, I attribute that to, aside them training specifically for that style.
Yeah.
I attribute a lot of that to also like the momentum they've gathered. Like, then
sure.
teams that they are playing with now, and I like, oh, if we play around when these people do their counter press. We are going because actually I think stats wise like top 3 teams in terms of like counter press they are like the highest
Yes.
and like they have the best. Okay, I don't know. Before yesterday they had the best defensive record.
Yeah.
I think they consider only 8 or 9 goals or something like that. But like that's just
By the
on the
way.
side now because I'm just trying to explain like I feel most of them their confidence is down because they've not gathered and that's what Solskjaer was very good at.
Yeah.
That man will fraud his way to like some kind 15 games without loss.
I mean, and like that's what wins you trophies, and like that's what you need in leagues. And I'm saying it. I was telling some of the laps. I'm like, we are also going to get a period like that. It happens every year. It just depends on which part of the season. Usually, we start season very poor.
But like,
then around like the new year, we get like
the similarity between him and Solskjaer is that they do not rotate, and that's what killed Solskjaer in the seasons that he was supposed to win the Europa League Champions League.
A lot of rotation this season, though.
Have we? It's not
circumstantial, but like
yes, that's the thing.
Yeah,
like they approach the game the same way, like they approach each opponent the same way. There are some players that are better suited to some games. For example, now I didn't expect to see McTominay starting 11 against Fulham. Fulham are just like us, they are struggling to score.
Yeah.
But they create more than we do.
Yeah.
They just struggle to score. So like I expected to see people that in the final third, like they have that cutting edge, people that can build up. But
McTominay is one of the ones who currently have the cutting edge. So I saw a tweet about how
as a center midfielder,
for managers when it is getting to the end of their time and they are crumbling, instead of like throw their goal-getters into the first 11. And I think that's what is happening with McTominay. It all started as a joke that okay, he scores and he's getting rewarded, and he's been playing since then. He hasn't benched him.
That's how it has been under every manager. Yeah, exactly. Under every manager, they've always tried to like.
And I think that's like why McTominay and Fred are just very underrated because of the sort of job they did in that period. Because we expected more, but then in hindsight now, like even last season when after we had that job, we threw Fred in, and he gave us some sort of. It was first McTominay.
Fred,
it was first McTominay.
Fred was underrated.
You remember it was first McTominay before Casemiro came. It was in the Arsenal. Casemiro played. McTominay played the Arsenal game. And we won. So
last season.
Yeah, exactly. And then Fred too eventually also like helped. So I'm just like.
But you know that's one of the reasons
right
why.
Now, and he even still scored in that game.
You know that's one of the reasons why he still continue like this.
Yeah.
Because with Ten Hag's style of play McTominay as a center midfielder will not work.
No, it won't.
It will not work.
Well,
the few games, the game after Brentford and McTominay scored brace.
Yeah.
He didn't play as a center midfielder.
No,
he played behind the striker.
Yeah, exactly.
Even against Fulham.
Yeah.
Majority of the game
started as
he played, but later in second half he dropped when he removed somebody half time.
No,
not half time. He removed somebody that McTominay had to drop in the second half anyway.
But was it Anthony?
No, Anthony was
later. Yeah.
Against Newcastle, he removed Casemiro half time that McTominay. But like for me, I don't feel it's just like what Scholes said. Is this Scholes? Yes, Scholes said about McTominay. He doesn't have the attributes of a center midfielder. And like the way we play, like we are usually very exposed, on the counter.
Yeah. Because
one of our center backs will be on the left side. One of the other center, it's only one center back that will be in the middle. The holding midfielder will be far. So like there's usually like a lot of space, in between the two center backs, one of the full back. And like it baffles me. I don't know why he has not considered pivot, but it is what it is.
The structure he's trying to implement is a counter-pressing structure, and the only way, but like what baffles me is we have 6 players in the opposition's half, and we still struggle to win duels and second ball. So that's why it comes out. No, not even movement. Now, everything he's trying to do is based on winning duels and getting second balls, counter-pressing, right? I mean, and we do even get a high amount of counter-pressing. We just never create chances from them.
We do not press.
The players are supposed to. I'm so confused at how like
this was one of the reasons why they hounded Ronaldo.
We are so terrible at this.
We do not press.
But we did press last season. That was what our game was based on.
How many games did we press and who pressed? I can call players that press for Fred pressing is without sense.
Fred
I don't
does.
count. I don't count Fred's pressing as.
But I mean, he
sensible
did
press.
it. He did it, and he won us possession a lot of the time. Yeah.
Really watch. Go and look at the stats. It's majority of the games he played as a double pivot or as the sole DM. Usually left us and that's the major reason.
Fred never succeeded as the sole DM. You always had to have like a stronger person beside you.
That positional play like is error on their own part.
But you look at the options we have, and
I mean, that Casemiro
is the managers have to play with. Yeah.
Because me as well, I would have loved to, at least for the time being, just stick with a double pivot.
Of Casemiro,
I was expecting him, transition into a 4-3-3 this season, but that has not worked out. He has been trying a lot of things, and that's another issue why majority of the players have not like really had good run of form.
He has to switch up his combinations because of the situation in the game, the sort of players he has available, and
now, like,
players who are not injured and stuff, and the quality of players who are available.
Whenever we have games, I just take our lineup and laugh. Because with Dalot's shambolic performances over the last few weeks, even the day he scored the match winner, he was one of our terrible players that day. Reguilon has not put a foot wrong since he has been bought. He has been unfortunate that we've not been winning, but he has, whenever he plays, usually one of our best players on the field, going forward defensively. Well,
the games after the injury, though, it was shocking.
It is what it is, Sha. It is what it is. So let's move on to like going forward. Like, what do you, with Casemiro out now, what do you think the tactics should be like? What do you think the lineup should be like? Players like Anthony, Dalot that have been like very, like, it's not even Anthony's performances and like it's not even funny anymore.
Yeah,
it's not funny anymore. Do you? Because I feel like, okay, at least give, because I feel Mount is kind of rusty.
But like, he's looking sharp already.
He didn't play much games last season. Then he had injuries back to back. So like that
sharpness.
That's some of the sharpness. Playing as a center midfielder, like the concentration you need, like the awareness, and like you get, is not there yet. And he's not really that type of player that controls. He's also a runner like Bruno and like the likes. So I feel like maybe for now just use him on the right flank. At least we'll get something from him.
we don't know that, and I don't think that's something Ten Hag will do. We've seen.
He would rather play Bruno. Which is not working anymore.
Or Pellistri.
Yeah, Pellistri.
I feel like
you will get something from Pellistri.
Without annoying Anthony has been, I think we're going to see a lot more Pellistri. But what I want to see is play Amrabat, Mount, and Bruno as the three midfielders. We've not seen that combination.
That's what I'm saying. Let's 4-3-3. Let's validate 4-1-4-1, 4-2-3-1 is not working.
Let's validate that it's not working. And even if he's going to play 4-1-4-1, play Bruno and Mount as the high eights, and like Mount will help Amrabat a lot. Play Reguilon. Do you understand? So like, so that Amrabat can cover that side, and you probably have Bruno or Mount are dropping deeper. But he hasn't done that. Apart from that,
my issue with that now. Whenever we do that 4-1-4-1 thing, the 4 attackers or 5 attackers, they just form a straight line.
It's even 6. So because a full back joins them, and then it's not just 4.
Just pass the ball to the back, pass it to Onana or
and then long,
we're having to defend against.
So that's the point of he wants situation like that, so we can win second balls and then like create transitional moments from that. Because I mean, according to him, that's the strength of his best players.
But for you to win those balls, there have to be movement. They cannot just be. You watch Arsenal. See those. Whenever Arsenal play their 4-1-4-1, at least 4 of the attackers out of 5 are moving constantly. There will only be one person that will, if, for example, now if Nketiah is one pinning either of the centre backs, the other 4 will be moving around. If Nketiah comes, Martinelli will slot. You get like, but for us, 0 movement. I mean, which brings the question, like, I know like this guy has not been properly, he has not been served properly. Rasmus.
Yeah.
But also I feel, now this is my own part too. I feel like he's not, some of these games he's not actually doing enough to get himself into the game. Now he's still young. Like, that's part of what we signed up for, like being a young player. Because I feel like there are some of the games I feel like he could drop deeper and like just try
Play.
try to link up, because something like that will also help Rashford. Now both of them are trying to like really, and they are really trying so hard to like
Yeah.
figure out each other's game, because Rashford is not used to a striker that plays like off the shoulders, or he's used to like this Martial type. All these.
I mean, he and Cavani had a very good partnership, but like Cavani's movement was insane. He would find the ball. Nah, that was next level. But I feel like Højlund has the potential to be that. His movement is also very good and clear. But like I said, he has been too one-dimensional for me. I think that is based on instructions too. But I also feel like another thing that I expect like our coaching staff to notice is the positions that Rasmus and Rashford are rolling to are too similar for them. So like you see Rashford kind of, other players in that team usually understands Rashford, Martial, Lukaku, Cavani. But like Højlund hasn't really gotten like.
That's why it's so essential to have a right winger that is decent. And we know, like I like Pelistri, but he's, like I said last time, his frame, his size against bullies.
Yeah.
See Bayern Munich now. When I saw it, I like there's no way he's going to get the best of Davis at any point of the game, because David is faster than him.
Yeah.
He's stronger. So like usually he plays better against like fullbacks that are like also small sized. Yeah, he will enjoy himself. But whenever he plays against bullying, all these it's not Anthony. What does that guy?
I mean, it's very, very confusing with him. I feel like his issue is currently also psychological. I did a deep dive into Anthony's career sometime, and the very terrible thing is he has moments like this a lot throughout his career. He's always been that guy who has to like prove everyone wrong after like a very shitty period, and that's how we are sort of built. The longest period where he has played well is in that Ajax team. When he was in Brazil, he would struggle for long periods, and then maybe he score a goal in the final or do some shit like that. So I feel like that's what we are getting now.
When we're buying him, I told my guys that he's a wrong buy. Yes, but I didn't expect this.
It should be this terrible.
I knew he had no pace. He's not strong. He's not that one-on-one dribble you. All he would do is hold up. He's very good at holding up play, but he's not like playing to his own strengths. And like some of the coaching decisions also anyway, because having him hug the line is not benefiting anybody. But it is what it is, Sha.
I mean, what we have to work with.
But also I don't feel for him, because I mean I saw this coming. I really wanted this guy, Pedro. I said Pedro Neto. Well, it was another time was battling his injury stuff. That guy is a beast. Anywhere on the flank,
is going to find the space and move.
That's kind of winger. See, if we have a decent winger on the right flank, they cannot be double teaming Rashford at every point, because they know they have to worry about someone else. Bruno is in the middle now. They know this guy will find anybody. If Eriksen comes in, they know he will find an. But because they know Anthony, he will at least first 5 seconds. Everybody will set up again. So it is what it is, sir. It's what it is. It's what it is. But for their sake, Anthony is one of those players I feel they will cut at the end of the day, they cut their losses on. Because nobody is paying ridiculous amount for him.
No, except Saudi Arabia. Though. It should go to the Middle East, please, and save our season. But I mean, we're losing Sancho too, so
I'm happy Sancho is leaving. I'm happy there's a possibility for Sancho to leave, because I feel. Sorry, hold on.
Yeah.
I feel he made the wrong decision coming to Man U from the start. As much as I liked him, Man U was a wrong club for him.
Where should he have gone to?
Anywhere but Man U.
He would have failed at Barca woefully.
He would have made at Madrid. He played very well at Barca. Yes. What would have hampered him from performing at Barca?
Oh, and pace.
There's a system in place already. In Man U, Sancho is a system player.
Yeah.
There's no system here. It is gone.
Barca are also in their transitional period now. They haven't had a single system since
an identity. Even when Valverde was there, that they were playing Satan ball, they at least 40 to 60 minutes of the game, they could keep the. If Barca ends today, you will know one thing, that if they bring their team B, they will still keep the ball. So far as there is an identity, even when, for example, now when Steve Bruce was in Newcastle.
Yeah.
You know that all is low block. Then last 10 minutes of the game, you are in for Steve Bruce delight.
I said.
That's the system. It didn't work for them like that, but they didn't get relegated.